Hello everyone, welcome back to a new YouTube cast. Today we're going to be looking at a game played between, in the top left, spawning as the red Protoss player. It's going to be Zest. And in the bottom right, spawning as the blue TERRAN player, is going to be Dragon Phoenix Gaming's Cure. Dragon Phoenix, which recently actually acquired Zest. So that's, I think that happened yesterday. This game was played 2 days ago, so in this game Zest still is teamless, but Dragon Phoenix Gaming looking extremely strong right now with Dark, Cure, Zest. I feel like they have one more top player that I'm forgetting currently. It will pop in my head later on. But yeah, Zest has been in, it's going absolutely bananas lately. He's been looking very, very strong against TERRAN, and he's been one of the things you could say in the past about Zest's play in general is that it seemed to be a little bit one-dimensional, perhaps, where it felt like he would learn one build order really, really well, and then until he would kind of lose with it in a big way, he would just keep playing it. But now he approaches the matchup more like Trap approaches most matchups, where he has a lot of different build orders. He has extremely good knowledge on how to use these build orders and kind of how they interact with each other and how the TERRAN has to interact with them. So he's winning a lot of games just kind of straight up in the early game, and then on top of that, his mid game, I'm trying to study his mid game and seeing how he's doing what he's doing, but it's just insane, like the way that he somehow always gets like up like 15 workers and then just has so many units, and he tends to float a little bit as well because of his playstyle. We'll get into that a little bit later if we're gonna see a float, which honestly in the Zest game I'd be surprised at this point to not see a 1200 mineral float at the 8-minute mark. But yeah, we're gonna be having this adept sent across the map, and with this adept sent across the map, it's gonna try to get a little bit of information here on the other side. Most likely will not see too much though, as it's just going to be your standard Reaper Marine into Reactor Expand. Bunker has finished up, Orbital Command has finished up, and the next 2 Marines are on the way, as well as the first car. Car will finish up and most likely push back this Adept. Stalker is going to stay at home. I like that. I like the fact that there's a Reaper wall as well. It's going to be very helpful here for Zest. Zest, by the way, who's only playing a double gateway unit pre-warp gate. Now what this means is that he's going to have less units, but he's going to have slightly more money, and thus might be capable of getting a very fast third base. That's exactly what we're seeing here. He's getting a third base before third pylon, which is pretty quick. The third base before the initial warp in. He might even get the warp in before he gets the third pylon, which would surprise me a little bit, I have to admit. Well, yeah, he's definitely gonna get the warp in now that that probe gets pushed away. Ideally, so the kind of way that you usually think about pylon placement in this matchup is that you want to have them either on edges of your base or providing a lot of building space. So this one provides a lot of space to build buildings on, and it kind of facilitates a wall. This one facilitates a wall and gives you a little bit of building space. And then your next pylon, well, this one's gonna be, I guess, for a potential battery. I'm not quite sure what this one is about. But ideally you have maybe a pylon here for some spotting, or a pylon here for some quick warp-ins and potential batteries. This is a very standard pylon. This is a very standard pylon. Sadly for Zest, they finish a little bit too late, and he's gonna have the illusion of safety while this little drop goes into his main base. His blink is done already, but he's too slow. He's gonna end up losing 3, maybe. Oh, actually, should have gone for the medevac there, I think, Zest. Should have gone for the medevac. He's gonna lose 4 probes here, which is a little bit painful. Does manage to get both mines though, so not the worst of trades, but really 1 for 1. 1 probe for a mine. That's kind of the trade you're hoping for here as a Protoss player. Right now, Zest is behind in workers by about 1. Which isn't the greatest thing you can have, and he's actually following this up with a little bit of a blink move out. We see 5 stalkers here, 2 more stalkers being warped, actually 8 stalkers, so just off of 2 gates, a very quick prism. He really just managed to get 9 stalkers out. 8 stalkers are over here, and he's gonna try to do some damage. Now he's playing against someone who's having a rather safe setup, I have to admit. This is a very, very safe setup, and I like it. Coming out of Cure, it is a 3 Rex. It is a tank, it is a Raven. It's a second tank, holy crap, I didn't even see that bad boy. Now you have the... This is cute. Just a little bit of tanking with the Adept and taking out 1 or 2 SCVs. Sure, it looks like it doesn't do too much, but every single time you take out an SCV, that's 1 SCV less that your opponent has, you know? The little things do matter in this game. Ooh, what is this? A single marine drop. Ooh. Let's see if Zest is going to be ready for this, because this is very, very uncommon. We see 6 gateways going down on the side of Zest. We see Charge, Templar Archives. Once again, these 3 Stalkers and an Adept come in. Very afraid, of course, of the disable on the Prism, even though there's not quite enough energy yet. Another 2 workers go down on the side of Cure, while Zest is happily continuing his worker production, going up the straight 6 gases here. And his unit count really is extremely low. He's almost no Zealots. He's working with an army of 9 Stalkers, 2 Templar. We see, where'd that Prism go? Okay, Prism went back home, probably afraid of some kind of counter-attack. Fort base has started at this point as well. Sentry is being warped in. This drop is not going to be capable to do much of anything, I think. Yeah, drop is gonna head back home. I don't think he saw anything. Just kind of the realization of, okay, this seems risky. I don't see the Stalkers on my side of the map anymore. Cure's been pushing down the SCV button hard, by the way. So even though this is a 3-Rex build, or yeah, it was a 3-Rex build, he's kind of going to be working with a good eco as well, which is important. There we go, didn't hear the sounds for a second. Oh, Storm Drop, what the heck? Completely missed that one coming across the map. 7 workers going down here, so Zest continuing to kind of extend his lead. Flies into a turret. Good control. His unit control is actually insane. Zest's unit control. He tends to almost never lose units. Like this type of stuff where maybe another TOS player would lose a Stalker, or this type of thing where at least the TOS player would take some hull damage on the Prism. Almost never happens to Zest. This is one of the reasons why I think he's so good. He's absolutely insane. Now, we see 10 gates, and here we see the classic Zest bank. He's floating a solid 1600 minerals at this point. I am not entirely sure why that's the case over here. Usually I can kind of justify it, but here 2k in the bank, and I'm pretty sure, yeah, you can just warp in. 9 Zealots coming in. It's looking odd. He's in a very, very good spot economically here. He's in a good spot base-wise. The only thing he's truly lacking here is upgrades. He's on +1 attack. He doesn't have an armor upgrade yet. He really skipped forges for a very, very long time in this early game. There's no way that Cure is going to be dropping into this main base. It would be a little bit too obvious. There's a recall here on the Prism. Stalkers kind of roaming around looking for something. 7 more workers went down. Is that against that Prism that I missed? I think I might have missed another little storm drop somewhere. We have an observer on this fort base. Really not seeing much of anything on the other side of the map. Patrolling with a Prism with two Templar, and that's big balls right there. Triple Disruptor being constructed right now. Oof. Did a bit of a chase here. Big storm hitting on these Marauders, as we have a little bit of a roaming army here coming out of Zest. Actually gonna end up losing one of these Stalkers. Now could potentially, with an observer, clear this up. Maybe could even double storm it. I'm not sure what he wants to be doing here. Sometimes hard to say exactly like what is best, but oh, Disruptor coming in is going to be able to shoot his best shot and most likely take this out. Yep, that's absolutely no problem. 2 mines gonna be going down over there. Alright. Cure moving. This is a weird army to move out with. This army is extremely tech heavy, and usually if you have such an army kind of heavy on support units, I mean 3 medevacs, 3 ghosts and a raven, this is an army that requires a lot of just kind of caveman like units like marauders and marines, but it's not really here. There's just hardly maybe 25 supply of real units, and the rest is just kind of supporting. I find this kind of a scary move out, honestly. I don't like it. Do like this army move out. I don't want to get 2 ghosts with it. The nice thing about having ghosts in these armies is that people tend to defend bases with Templar cannon. And if you try to defend the base with Templar cannon, and a guy shows up with ghost and bang bang, he EMPs your Templar, maybe even gets an EMP on one of the cannons, all of a sudden it's a lot scarier to defend. So I don't mind what Cure is doing here. What are we seeing here? Oh, single zealots being dropped. Well, 4 zealots being dropped. Not that single anymore. Actually gonna survive this prison is. That's crazy. No. Ooh! Actually gonna get caught here in the end. Okay. So Cure does manage to pick that up. Kind of finally. He's gonna be pretty happy with that. Because once the prism is out, it allows a lot more freedom with his army movement. Now he knows he can kind of move on the map. We see his carrier transition out of Zest. Carriers versus TERRAN. Now this is something we don't see every day. The reason why we don't see it every day, and it's kind of uncommon, is because carriers, I was gonna say suck, but they require so many upgrades to be useful against TERRAN units, because otherwise Marines just absolutely blast them. You have an army of TERRAN that's going to be upgraded 2-2, perhaps even 3-3 by the time you'll have a sufficient carrier count. You're going to need at least +2, but most likely you're going to need more like +3 in order to even get close to doing some damage to just a regular bioforce. And don't forget, Marines have extremely high rate of fire, so you're also gonna need armor upgrades on these carriers, on these interceptors. Otherwise they're just gonna die so freaking fast. So without armor upgrades, without attack upgrades, you're just gonna have a rough time, honestly, building carriers. That's something people forget, especially the armor upgrade. People are like, well, I mean, interceptors do damage, right? Because you can't see them. Doesn't mean that you're not gonna need those armor upgrades. Alright. A little bit of a run by being caught out. It's funny how quick Zest took his 4th base and then how long it took him to take his 5th. He's really just setting up for a very defensive game. Templar at his 3rd base, Templar at his 4th. He has like stalkers in the main, ensuring that he can't die to any weird drop play, to any kind of multitask, which Cure can do. He doesn't do it too much, but he is known to have done it in the past, where he sets up these sick rotations and then starts doing some damage. Cure, on the other hand, also being very careful here, staying on 4 base for a long time, because this 5th base is so difficult to defend. You have this entire area here that you need to take care of, and it can be freaking difficult. So we see Cure. I'm not sure if he's seen the carriers already. I don't think he's quite aware of them. But there's 6 carriers at this point. Luckily for Cure, he's already starting Viking production. He has a bunch of ghosts. Oh, and here comes one of these things. Hello, can we get an EMP? EMP too late here. What is that? Another storm. 2 storms hitting, even though there's a ghost with his army. This is pretty much the task of the ghost, is to stop that from happening. That's just a bad error, honestly, coming out of Cure. He scans, sees the army, sees the carriers. He's like, okay, wait a second. Do I really want Liberators against this? I don't think you do, Cure. I don't think you do. You should be cancelling these lips right now. If you're going to be going for a Viking-focused army, you don't want to have any lips holding back whatever it is that you have. You can, of course, get lips to kill the interceptors, but that can be very, very tricky. Now, this is a pretty funny-looking army. There's no Colossi in this army. It is just purely Disruptor, Stalker, Storm, Carrier. And the best part is that these Stormers, at least partially, are going to be sitting in a prison. Okay. Whoa. Stormers coming from the right side. Good big storms hitting this entire army. Even hitting some of the Vikings already going into the orange. Well, the more yellowish, actually. Still looking slightly more healthy. What is the Disruptor count here? There's still 2 Templars in the back as well. 4 Templar in this prism. Good blink forward, trying to kind of zone away these Vikings. The medevac count is getting low as well, which Cure does need to be careful about. 2 more Disruptor hits are going to hit at least something. Templar not in position at all. Carrier's just going to be sniped down for now. I don't understand why Zest isn't using any of these Templar in this fight. There's 4 in the prism. There's 2 on the ground. But only now are they pulled with the army. Zest in a fantastic spot though. 5k in the bank, at least mineral wise. 5.6, 2.2k in gas. He still has his Disruptors alive. He's shooting with them bit by bit. Making sure that the tank is never in reach. And this army, it doesn't look as scary as it did before. This is really turning more into a caveman-like army, right? We're just looking at an army that consists of a lot of gateway units. We have 16 gateways on the map as well. So that's actually gonna go for it. At least gets a tank, which is nice. It's gonna make his aggressive rotations a lot easier. I would love if he just kind of shuts off this area, Zest would, and then goes into the 5th base. This seems kind of risky, blinking forward into tank shells, into liberators, into a defensive position with command centers. This all needs to be repaired, by the way. It's gonna be burning down otherwise. But need to be careful. This is what I wanted him to do. And now zone with these disruptors. Zone away this army towards the right side, and try to maybe clear this. Planetary, but it doesn't really seem to have the units there for it. Double prism. For a second I thought triple prism on the way, but just seems to be double prism for now. As one liberator is being sent out to most likely harass. Yep, this is a left side base that Cure is aware of. It's 5 base against 5 base. Zest still not keen on taking a 6th. He doesn't care about expanding. He cares about keeping his bases alive and getting good trades. And so far, he's not been doing too hot in getting the good trades. Toss usually wants more cost-efficient trades than the Terran in this stage of the game, at least. Where, oh my god, freaking 16 stalkers. I'm still just working with an army that's consisting. He doesn't have too many workers, okay? So he's gonna have a massive army, but I feel like this army could be better. Either with like, oh my god, these were great storms. Just hitting all of these Vikings. Good EMP there on these Templar. There's still one disruptor shot left. Is going to not hit anything. This carrier is going to end up falling, but so does this base, and we're kind of resetting to a 4 base versus 5 base situation here. You're not going to be too happy with that, and now he needs to defend as well. This attack by Zest is very, very bad, honestly. He's losing a lot of supply. I was gonna say interesting, but if bad things are interesting, then this was very interesting, because this was very bad as well. This is not the fight you want to be taking. He just spent a big portion of his bank. His left side base still wasn't mining. He could have just at least recalled like 4 stalkers or so. Yeah, this could have been done ages ago. Income is kind of low for both players at this point. Base is being rebuilt here near the 4th base. Probably wants to float over at some point. Still no 6th base, even though a lot of the bases for Zest here are starting to run low. Are we seeing a 6th base over here? It is possible. Zest's bank is extremely low compared to what it was before. We see the resources lost still in favor of Cure, and Cure's been mining okay this game. Once he gets his 5th back up and running, he's going to be fine. There's no observer here, but with disruptors, should be able to figure out where it is. You can see a little shimmer, of course, of an invisible unit. What's this? Salads? Yeah, absolutely not. Absolutely not. 4 liberators are going to be defending this base, and we'll be fine doing that. Now, we have no sensor tower on the left side, by the way, which does kind of surprise me. I'm always surprised when there's no sensor towers. Sensor towers are so cheap for what they do. They're so freaking good at just doing what they do, which is seeing everything on the map. Oh, this is cute. Look at that. Little observer squad from the triple robo. It's gonna be patrolling. Look at that. We don't see that often, but I guess with the speed upgrade, look how fast they are. Holy guacamole. That's absolutely insane. Here comes the prism drop once again, trying to get a couple of Templar. This is a speedy prism, by the way. This is not your run-of-the-mill prism, your average prism. Oh, meanwhile, talking about run-of-the-mill things, here we have a big army consisting of pretty regular units taking out a base. Sadly, this base was already outmined. This one still hasn't been taken. I'm starting to get kind of worried for Zest. He's really just working with a base and a half at this point. He's going to be able to clean this up. Cure escapes with the medevacs, but without the units. That's great. It's kind of like the bodyguard escaping as the president gets assassinated. Like, I don't think that quite was your job, but no, I'm happy you're still alive. Observer gets taken out. This Raven has seen a crap ton, by the way. 0 kills, but he's been here from the start. Liberator's going to be sieging up here. This could be potentially scary. There's 3 carriers that have been rebuilt. What's the upgrades on them? It's 2-2. It's not quite 3-3, which is what you want. What's the upgrades on the ship weapons? That is +3. Vehicle plating only +1, though. I think this base might be gone. And with this base gone, and with this base being kind of taken out, what actually is the play here for Zest? Yeah, he has a nice... So, where before he had a lot of money, he had a caveman army. Now he has no money, and he has a pretty sophisticated army. You can see a crap ton of DTs. Holy cow, these are gonna die. 32 workers though for Zest. He's never gonna get an income again. This guy is broke as a joke. I mean, Cure at 119 supply. A healthy army count. I'm not quite sure if he's ready though without Vikings. Now, I say that not necessarily because of the carriers, but because of these Colossi. Look at the Colossi count, look at the Marine count. 29 Marines, 3 Colossi. This is a real issue. Oh, he has 10 Vikings as well. It's hard though, because the moment your Marines start tanking Colossi shots, that is the one thing you don't want, you know? That's like if you're falling from a building and trying to break the fall with your head. Like, this is the last thing you want to be doing. This is gonna burn down. I feel like that poor orbital command has been burned down twice. Like that building has known some troubles, alright? It has known some troubles. Another scan forward, good EMPs. Oh man. Cure needs to be so careful here. So careful. Good scan once again. Here comes the fight. Good target fire with these Vikings. Should be going for the Colossi, not for anything else. Because the carriers will be using the interceptors instead, right? And Marines should be taking care of those. There's 27 Marines still left over. 25 interceptors, 1 Colossus, 2 Templar. One of them might get a storm in the future again. What is that? 77. Okay, so it has 1 more storm. It's a mediocre storm, but it still hits. Oi. There's not a lot of splash damage here left in this army for Zest. But all the interceptors are out. Fight. Oh, Zest attacking the orbital, wrong side. But I don't think this is going to be enough. No target fire coming out of this army. Arkel's doing a lot of damage against these Vikings. A lot against these Marines as well. As you see, Zest kind of cleaning house here. Liberator on the other side is still doing God's work as well. But I almost feel like Cure should be temporarily giving up this base. He has a lot of stuff and he has the potential to mine a crap ton, but I don't think he can be taking this fight here. I don't think he can be taking this fight. There's still a single Colossus here. This is a Marines only army. And we know the Navy is tough, but not this stuff. I mean, you get freaking lasers raining down on you. What's the kills on this Colossus? 21 kills, and I think majority of that is going to be Marines. 14 SCVs go down. We have a recall. 83 supply against 81. Orbital flying towards the far left. This one should be, or to the far right. This one should be going to the far left. What do you have now, Cure? What do you have? I almost feel like he thought he was so far ahead that he could just take that fight and then that would be it for Zest, but that's definitely not the case here. I don't think Cure should be even thinking about defending this base. I think what Cure should be doing is considering like something like a base trade the moment you know you're getting attacked. I mean, he has a lot of scans available. He still has 4 orbital commands. No, yeah, 5 orbital commands even. Big fight once again, but once again this single Colossi is doing so much. 25 kills, adding 5 more Marines to his already pretty big Marine killed resume. And once again, we're seeing SCV after SCV go down. This base is mining. We have 1200 income a minute here. Oh my god, a single DT, are you joking? Oh no. Poor Cure. Throws down the mules and every single SCV that is here. Needs to pull away the mules as well. Doesn't have a scan available. There's an army moving towards the left. Army supply still relatively close. Oh my god, are you joking? Says you absolute god. Just escaping time after time with these DTs. No. Just not gonna get it. Good control there coming out of Zest, who's back on what, 5 carriers. We have Colossus. I'd love to see some gas mining though, yes. We're gonna need some Templars in this army, because the moment Templars start hitting the field here, and you just need to hit a single storm. You hit a single storm, you're gonna be fine, guys. You're hitting a single storm, you're gonna be fine. Now you see he's waiting for the scan, and Zest is waiting for it as well, and he just wants to blink away. Bait the scan, blink away. Good old bait and switch. We see 3 mules working. We have 10 SCVs still, but God knows where they are. They're now pulling away from this gas. A little bit of the party of the gas over there. We have 5 zealots as well. Wow. Does he actually want to use zealots in this case? I mean, zealots is the one unit that wouldn't fight too well against this army. You want to probably be investing into things like Colossi, into Templar, into anything. Oh, I start staking out the gas because right now Zest doesn't really have gas himself, but you think, oh, maybe Cure also doesn't have gas, but Cure has plenty of gas. 800 in the bank, these refineries largely useless. Overall, units lost in favor of Zest as Cure starts his march forward, and he needs to actually do something now. He needs to fight because there's another base coming up. There's 31 workers, but I have a bad feeling about this. Is there any storms available? There's no storms available. There's a single Colossus. There's a Templar here. EMP is gonna be going down. No EMPs yet on these interceptors from what I've seen. So shields will be big on them. This fight is not going how it should be for Cure. As Zest with the kind of an unrealistic looking army, like an army that you'd see in a Gold League game, is most likely just going to take it here. The interceptors will be built back. 12 interceptors still alive, only 11 marines. What is in here? The zealots. GG gets called as Zest wins this game against Cure. Now, if you did enjoy this, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Leave a thumbs up down below. And hopefully, I'll see you all next time for a new video. Bye bye.